Gave up gluten, you cut out dairy, you're eating nothing but salads and drinking water and doing everything right, and you're still bloated. I hear this from almost every woman who finds her way to me. And I want you to know right now that is not in your head and it has nothing to do with willpower. There's a very specific reason why this keeps happening. And today I'm going to tell you what it actually is. Elimination diets can be exhausting. It's hard to figure out what you can eat and what you shouldn't eat. If a product has the food that you're trying to avoid in it, reading every ingredient label, trying to eat out or eat at a potluck, it's exhausting. And all of the money you've spent on clean products and all the time and effort you've spent trying to eat carefully or things that you feel that you miss out on, all of these things, they have a purpose, but it's exhausting. The advice that you've been following, it's not wrong. It is necessary sometimes, but it's just incomplete. Most gut health advice stops at what you eat, but that's only half the picture. And for a lot of women, it's not even the most important half. There are a couple components to the physical piece of gut health. First of all, you could have a compromised gut lining. And explain simply, if your gut lining is compromised and there's gaps that shouldn't be, then no matter how perfectly clean you eat, some of that food is not going to break down all the way and it's going to get through those gaps. When food goes through those gaps, it creates inflammation and that creates that exhaustion and that bloating that you're feeling. The food's not the problem, the terrain is. So you can eat the cleanest diet in the world and still react if your gut lining is not intact. It's not that the food is the issue, it's the gut is the issue. Another possibility is chronic stress. The gut-brain connection is real. Cortisol directly impacts digestion. When the body is in stress mode, it's in fight or flight and your digestion gets deprioritized. Think about it. The body doesn't worry about digesting food if it might not be surviving in the next 10 minutes. But our bodies weren't created to live in chronic stress. When we're in chronic stress, we're not digesting our food, and then that food sits in the gut and ferments. This is why so many moms are bloated, even on clean diets, because the stress load isn't ever coming down. Your gut and your brain are in constant communication. When your nervous system is in survival mode, your digestion is one of the first things that gets turned down. Another culprit of bloating could be hidden additives in seemingly healthy foods. Seed oils, natural flavors, emulsifiers, gums. These items are in products that are marketed as clean and organic, sometimes even gut-friendly, and really they're not. For example, have you ever looked at the label on your oat milk container or your protein bars or healthy crackers? A lot of these items contain a lot of additives that can be irritating to our gut, and they can cause that bloating when we think that we're doing all the right things. The label might say organic, but when the ingredient list is 4 lines long, that's a clue that something's not right. Another potential challenge causing the bloating is the digestive system has a rhythm. Eating at irregular times or in a combination that slows digestion can cause fermentation. For example, if you've just finished a really heavy meal and your stomach's working on breaking down that food, if you add fruit right afterwards, that can create fermentation. Or if you're eating raw veggies on a compromised gut, that can create bloating. I know we're always told salads are the healthiest food for us, but there are a lot of times when our gut's compromised that we actually need cooked vegetables, not raw. Another potential situation is eating a large meal right before bed. When you go to sleep, your digestion slows down. So if you're eating right before you go to sleep, you're not giving your body time to digest the food in your stomach. So therefore, it just sits there all night and can create a lot of bloating. And I know for us moms, sometimes after the kids go to bed is the time that we can sit down and actually eat. But it's really important for your gut if you try to stop eating at least 3 hours before you go to bed. Some of these situations don't end up being a food sensitivity, it ends up being a timing issue. So, the question most people are asking is, what should I eat? But the better question is, can my body actually process what I'm putting in it right now? Healing the gut itself, the lining, the microbiome, the digestive rhythm, is what changes everything long term. And that's different from just removing foods. Sometimes we have to remove foods to reduce the irritation, but we also need to heal that lining so that eventually we should be able to reintroduce those foods. A lot of times you do not actually have a gluten problem or a dairy problem. It's more that the gut can't handle it at this point in time, which makes those different things and they require different solutions. What I want you to do is start observing when you bloat, not just what you ate, but also the time of day, how much stress you're under, how rushed your meal was, and also discuss the type of bloating. Some people are bloated constantly. Sometimes it builds up throughout the day. Sometimes it's all in the lower abdomen. Sometimes it's while you're starting to eat. Each of these things can give you clues as to what's causing the bloating. And if you hang with me, we'll touch on all these topics, but also consider that more elimination might not be the answer. There are specific things that we can do to help heal your gut. And it doesn't always mean just more probiotics. Some probiotics can actually cause more bloating for some people, depending on what's causing the compromised gut. In addition to tracking what you ate when you're bloating, I want you to also notice your stress load this week. It is part of the whole picture. It's not separate from it. In an upcoming video, I'm going to walk you through exactly how I think about gut healing with my clients. So make sure you subscribe so that you don't miss it. If any of this resonated with you, make sure you subscribe and drop a comment below. Tell me, what have you already tried that's not worked? I will read every single one and I'll make sure to include your comments in future videos. Now you know there are 3 roots that could be behind your bloating. If you want to know which one is most likely yours, I have a free quiz in the description below. 3 minutes, personalized result. It's a great place to start.